It's time to subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. What are you doing?
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous.
Subscribe to Paid to Be Famous. Like the video. Come on.
Hell
you know
yeah.
the drill.
Button.
And slap that like button.
In today's Destiny 2 video, we're going to be going over the new submachine gun that just dropped with episode Revenant Act 2. It's called the Noxious Vetiver. It's got some pretty nice perks on it, so if you're an SMG enthusiast, you're probably going to like this thing. Now, if you're wondering how to get your hands on this thing, very simple. All you have to do is play the new Challenge of the Elders or the Tomb of the Elders, and it drops from chests out of there. This is a legendary energy submachine gun. It's a precision frame firing at 600 rounds per minute. We don't really have too many other relevant ARC SMGs. Really, the only other one we have is the 7th Seraph SMG, which is also a 600 round per minute one. And as you can see by this graphic right here, the 7th Seraph does beat the Noxious Vetiver in a lot of stats. But the good thing about the Noxious Vetiver is that it just came out, so it has a lot of the newer perks on it, which basically makes the 7th Seraph obsolete. Now, looking at the first column of perks, it comes with Loose Change, To the Pain, Thresh, Unrelenting, Attrition Orbs, Pugilist, and Heating Up. Loose Change is going to give you a boost to your reload speed, aim assist, and movement while aiming down sights for a short duration after you apply an elemental debuff. To the Pain is a pretty good PvP perk. States that while you take damage, it's going to increase the handling and aim assist until you stow the weapon. You also have Thresh. Killing combatants with this weapon generates a small amount of super energy. You have Unrelenting. Rapidly defeating targets triggers health regeneration. Guardians and powerful combatants count as more than one kill. And when you get this to activate, that is an instant 65 HP to your Guardian. You also have Attrition Orbs. Dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power. This perk is really nice. Nobody really liked this perk when it first came out, but it seems the more and more that this drops on weapons, the more valuable it becomes. You also have Pugilist for those melee builds. Final blows with this weapon generate melee energy. Dealing melee damage briefly improves this weapon's handling. And since this is a primary weapon, that's 10% grenade energy back on weapon kills. Then you have Heating Up, a PvP perk. Final blows with this weapon increase accuracy, stability, while improving the recoil direction. This perk lasts for 5.5 seconds. It does increase your stability by 15, your recoil direction by 20, and 15% decreased accuracy cone size and 15% decreased accuracy cone growth. Like I said earlier, very good perk for the Crucible. And in the second column, you've got Jolting Feedback, you've got Target Lock, Frenzy, Redirection, Vorpal Weapon, Desperate Measures, and Rampage. Pretty much every single one of these perks is a damage dealing perk, which is really nice. Of course, everybody's probably looking at Jolting Feedback. Dealing repeated damage with this weapon inflicts Jolt, and while you're amplified, you'll apply the Jolt faster, which is really nice. Target Lock states that damage increases the longer this weapon remains on a target. You got Frenzy. Being in combat for an extended time increases damage, handling, and reload. It's going to give you a 15% increase to your damage, 100 handling, and 100 reload speed, which is very good. We also have Redirection. Damaging rank and file combatants increases damage against more powerful ones. Hits against minor combatants grant 1 stack of Redirection, and you can stack it up to 20 times. And hits against elite or ranked combatants consume up to 5 stacks to grant 20% increased damage per stack consumed. You also have Vorpal Weapon, increased damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians with their super active. And since this is a primary weapon, this is going to be doing 20% increased damage, and in PvP, it's going to be doing 60% increased damage. And you also have Desperate Measures. Weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a large damage bonus that can stack. So this actually stacks up to 3 times, and at 3 times, it's a 30% damage increase. And then you have Rampage. Kills with this weapon temporarily grant increased damage, and it stacks 3 times. And at a ×3 stack, you get a 33.1% increase to damage. And of course, we have the basic origin trait for these seasonal weapons, the Dark Ether Reaper. Final blows with this weapon periodically spawn a Dark Ether charge. So once you spawn that charge, you can shoot at it or run through it, and it will refill your magazine from reserves. So Guardians, what is the god roll? Well, we'll start off with PvP here. I'm going to say go with Hammerforged Rifling, Accurized Rounds, Heating Up, Target Lock with a Range Masterwork. That's going to put you at 78 range and allow you up to 21.5 meters before damage drop off, which is pretty nice. And for the PvE god roll, I'm going to say go with Hammerforged Rifling, tactical mag, attrition orbs, jolting feedback with the reload speed masterwork, and probably slap like a backup mag mod on there. So Guardians, what are my final thoughts on the Noxious Vetiver SMG? I don't really think it's going to be meta in PvP. I do think it's going to be really good in PvE, but honestly, if you already have like an iKilos SMG that has Volt Shot, I don't think this is something that you got to like jump up and go grind for immediately. But I definitely think this has some better perks than the iKilos. That attrition orbs, jolting feedback combo is going to be really nice in PvE. That's the role I'm going to be hunting for. The ability to generate all those orbs and apply that jolt debuff to enemies. It's going to be very nice. That's going to do it for the video. If you guys found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, leave a like on the video if you found it helpful. Follow me over on Twitch and TikTok for the live streams. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Controls located at ground level. Warning, poison gas also located at ground.
Outposts were evacuated when the Witness's forces approached. Markel has people out there securing them again. Petra promised they'd send word if they spot any sign of Finwall. We are rich in friends, Guardian. Even in our darkest moments.